Hey, what's up, sports bettors? Alex here, and I thought this promo on Caesars was pretty interesting because it's not easy to figure out if it's profitable or not. So I think this video will be useful for a lot of people in how to determine if this is a bet that you want to place. So we'll go through the math of this super boost on Caesars, and then there's also a promo on Fanduel that we're going to discuss, which is right here. So TNT Thursdays, you bet $10 on a same game parlay, and Fanduel just gives you $10. I mean, it's literally a free $10 from Fanduel. You bet $10, you get $10. So I have tracked bets. I ended up betting this Caesar Super Boost. We'll go through the math. And then I also have my same game parlay over 208 points, Celtics -2, and Julius Randle under 9.5 rebounds if you want to tail. Now, what I will mention is, again, I have a lot of other bets placed from the positive EV page, but I think it's helpful if I just give these plays out right away on TikTok. So that's what I've been doing. So if you want to see my plays, if you want to try to tail them, you want to see, what's a good bet and why it's a good bet, follow me on TikTok. So for example, this Ducks -2 plus 340, I mean, that seems like a pretty incredible line, right? Pin is all the way down at plus 273. So this is an ARB to the sharpest sportsbook in the world, 14% edge. So, whatever, why not? Let's place this bet. So let's go to the Ducks game. And I'll click into this game, and then we can go to alternate lines, Ducks -2 plus 340. So this bet's pretty incredible. Whatever, I'll throw 500 bucks on it. So boom, now we have a positive EV wager on the Ducks. Again, all this page shows you is mathematically profitable bets. There's no fluff, no BS, no picks. It's just showing you where the value in the odds is. So, well, I got to add in this bet now. So Ducks -2, EV. This game's today. This is on Caesars, and we put 500 bucks, and this is plus 340 odds. And then I'll also just add in the edge, which was 13.91%, not 31%. I mean, that's almost impossible to find, but that would be amazing. So now we have 3 track bets for today. We'll go through the math of this Booker Paul boost. And again, you can see we've been on an absolute heater, so we're up 8.3K in profit, and we initially went down 4 or 5K. Now it seems like we literally can't lose any bet that's going on this YouTube, so that's pretty incredible. And again, I'm just gonna try to keep these videos more to promos on the main sportsbooks and give out some EV plays right after I bet them on TikTok. So anyways, let's go through the math of this promo. So I'll head back to the homepage of Caesars. We see a super boost, Booker and Paul, each over 14.5 points plus 150. And here I have my little spreadsheet to figure out if it's any good or not. So the first thing we can do is look at the line for Chris Paul. So you can see his over-under is set at 14.5. Pin has it -122, so he's a slight favorite to go over, so maybe 51%. So we can take this line, put it into a zero vig calculator. So it's -122 on the over, -108 on the under. So 51.42% is the fair win rate according to the sharpest sportsbook in the world. It's our estimate of the probability that Paul goes over 14.5 points. So I'll put that into here, 0.5142. Now we're going to enter a bit of a conundrum. So if we go down to Booker, you can see no sportsbook's even giving a line on Booker over 14.5 points, right? His over-under is set at 26.5. So he's just such a heavy favorite to have over 14.5 points that sportsbooks don't even give odds on it, right? The lowest line you can get is over 17.5 points for Booker, and that's -1450 on Fanduel. So we're going to have to estimate, right? There's no way to get an exact probability like we got with Paul. So we're going to have to estimate, okay, what's the probability that Booker scores over 14.5 points? So what we know is this bet, Booker and Paul, both over 14.5 points, plus 150, has a fair win rate of 40%. In other words, I phrased that incorrectly. If the win rate of this bet, according to our calculations, is over 40%, this bet is positive EV. It is mathematically profitable. It is a bet with positive edge. If our win rate is exactly 40%, this bet would be fair. And if this bet wins less than 40% of the time, then it's not profitable. So if you're wondering how I got those numbers, you can just go right here. And then you can go to an odds converter calculator, and you can put in plus 150, and this shows you the implied probability, right? The implied probability of this specific odd. So any bets we're placing at plus 150 odds, we need to win over 40% of the time to break even, right? So if you're ever placing a bet at plus 150 odds, the question in your head should be, am I winning this bet over 40% of the time? If you are, it's a profitable bet. If you're not, it's not a profitable bet, right? For plus 200, it's 33.33%. If you're betting on something minus 200, you have to win that bet 2/3 of the time to break even. So even though you're gonna win wagers at minus 200 more often, you can still lose a lot more money, right? Because the odds are worse, right? If you're a sports bettor winning 65% of your minus 200 wagers, you are terrible, right? You're an unprofitable sports bettor. On the other hand, if I'm betting things that are plus 500 and I'm winning 20% of the time, I'm insanely profitable. And of course, you're still likely to lose this bet. If you're winning 20% of the time, you're still losing 4 out of 5 times. But the point is everything is about the odds you are getting. So anyways, what we can do is go back to my spreadsheet. So we know Paul is 51.42%, to score over 14.5 points. We have no idea for Booker. All we do know is FanDuel's initial line is over 17.5 minus 1450. So what we can do is we can go here and we need to figure out, okay, what is the probability Booker needs to go over 14.5 points to make this bet fair? So we have to win this bet over 40% of the time, right, for this bet to be profitable. So what we can do is just do, our fair win rate divided by the probability that Paul scores over 14.5 points. And this gives us what we need Booker to be. So Booker has to be over 77.8, percent likely to score over 14.5 points for this bet to be profitable, right? And you can see, his line on over 17.5 is minus 1450. So if we go to an odds converter calculator right here, right, minus 1450. And this is on over 17.5, which is 3 points higher. And you can see, it's 93.55%, right? FanDuel's giving you an implied probability, if you were to bet on Booker over 17.5, of 93.55. And that's 3 points higher, right? We just need Booker to have over 14.5. This is the line for over 17.5. And in fact, if I actually go to FanDuel, I believe they have these weird other alternate lines. So if I go to player points really quickly, they have a line to score 15 plus points. He's minus 10,000, right? He's minus 10,000 according to FanDuel to score over 15 points, 15 plus points. This is equivalent to over 14.5 points, right? Betting on over 14.5 and 15 plus, that's the exact same thing. So long story short, we only need Booker to be 77.8% to score over 14.5 points to make this bet profitable. And that's clearly true, right? That's clearly true. Just looking at the lines, like Booker's clearly over 90% likely to have over 14.5 points. So long story short, we can just kind of estimate this, like whatever. You think Booker's 90% likely? It's hard to get an exact number, but the point is, you're not always going to be able to get an exact number as a sports bettor. A lot of it is guesstimating and using math to try to make the best betting decisions, right? There's never a precise, this is definitely good, this definitely isn't good. Sometimes it takes looking at the numbers, trying to back out, well, okay, what's the probability, whatever, to figure out if the bet is good. So you can see, whatever, let's say Booker's 90% to score over 14.5 points, even though no sportsbook's giving us odds on that. Then we can figure out our EV, right? So let's say he's 90%. We're betting $25 at plus 150 odds, so our profit is 37, bucks and 50 cents if we win. We're winning this bet 46.3% of the time. The rest of the time, so 1 minus this, we're losing our stake of $25, which would make the EV of the Super Boost 3.92%. Your edge as a sports bettor is just your EV divided by your stake, so 3.92 divided by 25. So this bet's profitable by roughly 60%. And again, this is just an estimate, right? Maybe he's actually 95% and this bet gets better, or maybe he's actually, 80% and this bet's not as good. But what I can assure you is he's over 77.74% just looking at these lines, right? So that's the video we have. As always, any questions you have about sports betting, feel free to reach out to us. Always happy to answer questions. And again, thanks so much for your time.